Hello, this is Annalisa from Faith Dream Create, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have 5 cards for you, and I'm going to be using the Simon Hurley Create stamping foam, the new one that just came out. It is the heart cut stamping foam, so you're going to see it right now. It is super fun, and it has a heart cut out in the middle to take textures and creativity to the next level. And it is a little bit bigger than the previous stamping foam. So if you have tried that out, you get a little bit more in this one and a little bit more fun. But if you have not tried out the stamping foam, I highly recommend it. It is so fun to create and bring in textures and just get some different looks that you don't get with your current products. So if you like to create and explore, this can be a fun tool in your craft room. So you can see that the heart comes out, and you can create just with the heart alone or the background and the heart. And this is just so fun. You get 2 in a pack. And yeah, so let's get creating. So you're seeing the Simon Says Stamp Tossed Hearts background stamp there. I'm going to use that for the first card, and I'm just using one of my acrylic picture frames that I use for stamping. And I did actually go ahead and order Simon Hurley's stamping platforms, acrylic blocks, just to see if it works a little bit better to get that texture. But I am getting that background stamp onto here. I did not get it perfect, but that is okay. I'm just adding some Distress Oxide inks, and I'm adding 3 colors in a circular motion so that the ink goes on smoothly. So what you do is you heat set it, put that stamp in or that texture in as quickly as you can after you've heat set it for a little bit, and that texture is going to absorb or stick in the foam. I don't really know how to describe it, but yeah. So then once your ink is there, you spray it down only a little bit, and you spray it from afar. You don't want too much water. You just want enough water to reactivate it. It's best to use water-based inks. It's easy to clean and just helps everything apply best. So I'm just adding a little bit of pressure to get everything to transfer properly, and then voila, you have a little bit of texture. And I love the heart white impression that this brings to the background. And then I'm going ahead and adding some of that color back into just the heart, and I'm going to pop out this heart and do another card, or what I thought was going to be a card. I had done up a few card bases, so I stamped the heart first, and then I was like, what will happen if I just add a little bit more water and stamp this again? So I did it on the inside thinking this would be a card, but you will see what I do with these 2 hearts in the end. So now I'm popping that heart back in, and I'm going to go ahead and clean this. So what you do to clean it is just spray it down with water, use a microfiber cloth, and just wipe it off until all of the ink is gone. And then to get the design to go away, you just heat set it again, and you will see the design, the texture that you already added, just disappear, so that you can do it all over again with a new design. It's like magic and so fun. And I'll have all of the supplies that I am using in today's video listed down below in the description box if you want to check them out or go shopping, and those links will be down below for you to check out. So now the next 2 cards, I'm going to be doing this. This is the Simon Says Stamp Mama's Love stamp set, and I'm putting the 3 little kiddos into the heart, and I'm going to see if I can get a impression with this. And this turned out so amazing. I'm so happy with how this came out. So what I did is I took the 3 kids and I added them in there. I added them on my acrylic block, got my heat tool out, heat set it, and then put that impression in there, and it worked out amazing. So I chose to do the 3 kids because these are representing my 3 kiddos. So I thought this would be a fun Valentine's Day card. So now I'm just adding the ink in, and I do a few different looks with this. I've heard that some people actually like the textures that they put into their stamping foam so much they don't want to heat set them and take them away, so they just keep that impression in and grab more stamping foams to keep creating with. And I've never felt like I needed to do that yet, but this one I'm like, this is not getting heat set again. I could do it again, but I just love how it turned out. So this one might be permanently stained. So once that ink was applied, I sprayed it with the water just a little bit, tried to stay far back, and then I put it down to the paper. And voila, I love how this turned out. So stay tuned to see how I change these into a card. Right now I'm just playing and see what I add. So stay with me and see what I add to these different pieces. But now I'm just playing with the stamping foam. So now I took that heart out, I popped it out, and I added a little bit more ink, and I'm spraying that down and just adding the heart element in. So definitely really, really cool. I love how these cards turned out. You'll have to let me know down in the comments which one is your favorite card out of the 5. So pop that back in and put it off to the side, and I cleaned it up. And now I'm just trying to decide what we're going to do next. So many ideas going around in my head of what I want to do. So because I wanted to keep that impression in there and I wasn't sure if I wanted to take it out yet, I do go ahead and grab the other stamping foam to do the next card. And I'm going to be using a embossing folder to get this texture. Embossing folders can be tricky. You got to put a lot of pressure, at least in my opinion, but I wasn't going for perfection. I was just going for a little bit of a design and was just playing and going along with it. So I'm using a chevron embossing folder from my collection. It is a one I picked up at Walmart. It's from Momenta. And so got that texture in here, and then I'm just adding some distress oxide ink in a few different colors. I went with reds and pinks and blues and purples for these cards. I didn't want it to be the super traditional Valentine's Day, but I just had fun with the colors for these cards. And I used gray as well. So adding that water, and chose to keep the heart in for this one. And so let's see how it turned out. So love it. There's a simple texture. I love that white around the heart and just how it transfers. I think it's so fun. All right, so now we're going to get working on the card. Here is all of the cards and stuff that I have stamped out with the stamping foam. And this is the Simon Says stamp, You Have My Heart die. So I'm going to be using that. I already went ahead and put it through my Big Shot machine twice, and I'm just popping it out here as you can see. And I did get another element of the heart in the circle because I was cutting out a few more. So I was experimenting, where do I want to put this? Maybe I want to put it on the inside, but then I decided to switch the colors. So I had done purple, so I put the purple on the more red and pink background, and then the pink on the purple and blue background. And then I had all of the extra elements that kind of pop out of the spaces. So the circle in the heart in the circle, and then just the heart piece. So I'm going to be using those as well. And I'm figuring out what I'm going to do with these cards. So many ideas. So for these two cards, I am using, that is the Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to be using Happy Valentine's Day from the Silly Valentine Day Lawn Fawn stamp set that I had in my collection, but you could use any Happy Valentine's Day sentiment for this card if that's what you are going for. These would be great cards for any occasion, really. Add any sentiment and you can have fun with the background. Hearts can be for all occasions. So I'm using that Happy Valentine's Day, stamping it in Memento Tuxedo black ink. And then I'm going to be using the Love Messages stamp set by Simon Says Stamp. And I'm using the I love you, I love you, I love you stamp. So this is like a Valentine's Day from my kiddos. And they are like, Happy Valentine's Day, I love you, I love you, I love you. Just was having fun with this element of that. So then I took the other one that I did and did the same thing and just put it in there and got it all stamped out. And then I'm going to put these to the side, I believe, and then come back to them. I was not sure how I wanted to finish off these cards. Because I was not sure. So yeah, I put them off to the side and I will come back to that. So what I decide to do with this card is I'm going to fussy cut out these hearts. I am going to make a slimline card with these, and I was cutting them out. I was actually thinking if you did a bunch of these up with these fun textures, it would look so cool as like a Valentine's Day banner that had all of these fun textures. Just add it to a string in whatever color you want, and you would have your own do-it-yourself decor and have so much fun with the backgrounds. So getting these cut out, and you're going to see how I turn these two hearts into a slimline card. So that one is all cut up, cut out, and I'm trying to figure out how they are going to go on to a slimline card. So here is the slimline card, and they definitely do fit. I bring out that Simon Says Stamp Love Messages stamp set and the Happy Valentine's Day stamp that I used in the other cards as well. So at first, I'm going to adhere these down so they don't shift around, and I know where I want that sentiment to go. So I'm using the Nuvo Deluxe glue to adhere these down before I stamp the sentiment. And then once the hearts are adhered, I can go ahead and put this back in my stamping platform, take out the previous I love you, I love you, I love you sentiment, and stamp the Happy Valentine's Day, which is already in there first, figuring out where I want it, and then I can stamp that, and then I'll go ahead and stamp a second sentiment from that Simon Says Stamp Love Messages. And I decide to stamp second the sentiment that says, we make a great team, so happy you're my partner. This stamp set has so many different messages that you can utilize for Valentine's Day or any occasion, really, depending on what you're going for. So it has, I love you, hi love, thank you for being who I needed you, who needed it most. Have I mentioned how lucky I am to be in love with you? Every day is amazing when I'm with you, and so many different other sentiments. So then I decided to add in the hearts, and I did that in black just to add in a little bit more to this card. So I used all three of the little hearts in that stamp set, and then to bring in more of that black, I'm just bringing in a black marker. This is very thick cardstock, so I brought in a black marker, made some stitch lines on the hearts, and then that finishes up this card. I love how all of the different blacks from the sentiments and the hearts and the heart stitches came together. Actually, it does not finish up the card. I forgot that I added a little bit of Distress Oxide in the colors from the heart around the edges just to make them stand out amongst the different colors in this card. So then I'm going to go ahead and glue the You Have My Heart dies down to these other two card bases and add in all of the different elements. Now for this, I'm using the Barely Art Glue Mini in the Precision Tip, because this is a very detailed die and I wanted to get a good sticking, get a good glue to go on to these small areas. So putting this down, and then I'm going to add the little pink heart into the U, and then I'd cut out a few of these extra pieces that pop out of the letters, And I'm adding them to the bottom. I did not want them to go to waste. And then I will adhere the "You Have My Heart" in purple and the purple heart. And then I was not sure if I should just leave these cards, if I should add anything else. I felt like they didn't need anything extra, not too much. I didn't want to take away from the background and the words, but I did add one more thing. And once I get this adhered down, you're going to see what I add. So I go ahead and grab my Nuvo shimmer pen to add a little bit of sparkle to the words and the heart, because why not? It's a simple way to add a little bit more, and you can never go wrong with glitter, especially when it's contained. So just adding that over the letters. You could definitely use any glitter shimmer pen to do this, but it just gave it that extra and a little bit more. And I love the sparkle and shine. So adding it to the second one. Getting it done. And then once the sparkle is on here, I'm going to finish off the last two cards. I'm sorry I jump around a little bit, but this was just the process of when I figured out what I was doing and kept coming back, figuring out what I was doing. And yeah, so now to finish off these cards, I'm going to be using some pops of color just to add a few pops of and dots here and there to bring some more fun and texture to these cards. I was not sure, as I was working on this, I was totally not sure where I was going with all of this. But I'm really happy with how they turned out, and I'm definitely going to be experimenting more with the stamping foam. I cannot wait to bring it out again. And I definitely have to bring out the originals again too. Never going to stop. So much fun. I love tools like this that give you that creativity that never ends. And so just adding the two different pops of color, the red and the pink, to emphasize the stamping foam impression that we got. And then there you go, you see it. And for this next one, I didn't want to take away from the background. So what I actually do is just add the clear pops of color and then the pearl pops of color. I will have all of the specific colors listed down below in the description box if you want to check them out. I love the pops of color. There's so many different colors and they're coming out with more. And yeah, they just add that finishing touch to a card or project. So as you can see here, I'm adding the pearl and the clear. So this just gives you a subtle finishing touch without taking away from the background. And I really love how it turned out. So happy Valentine's Day to you. I know a lot of people don't really celebrate it. I don't personally celebrate it too much, but I have a lot of fun with it. I decorate in my home for my kiddos, and it's just fun to create a few cards here and there. I may give these to my kids or to some relatives. But yeah, so here are all the cards finished up, and the slimline card and some still photos of the cards. If you liked today's video and the cards, give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to share inspiration with you, and I will see you in the next video.